Hello, my wise friends. Welcome back to MrJamAdvice, your corner of wisdom, reflection, and truth for people over 55. Tell me something. How often do you find yourself saying a little too much to people, thinking they care or understand, only to later realize they didn't deserve to know? If you've ever felt that sting of regret after opening your heart or sharing your private matters, then this video is for you, because once you cross your 50s, 60s, or 70s, life teaches you one powerful truth. Not everything needs to be shared, and not everyone deserves to know your story. You see, my dear friends, the older we get, the more valuable our peace becomes. We've already lived through storms, heartbreaks, disappointments, betrayals, and victories. At this age, we don't need validation or attention. What we need is inner calm and self-respect. But the problem is, many people your age still carry that open heart from their younger years. You talk about your family problems, your finances, your health, your regrets, thinking people will empathize. But often, those same people use that information against you or talk about it behind your back. It's not about being secretive, it's about being wise. Because wisdom means knowing what to say, when to say it, and to whom. In this video, I'm going to share with you 9 things you should never share with anyone once you're in your midlife or golden years, not even with close family sometimes. These are the things that protect your dignity, your mental peace, and your privacy. So before we begin, I want you to take a deep breath. Think about your circle, your friends, your relatives, your neighbors. Ask yourself, who really deserves to know everything about me? You'll realize the answer is very few people, because peace doesn't come from telling everyone what's in your heart. Peace comes from keeping some things only between you and God. And if you're watching this from home, from your living room, your garden, or your cozy chair with a cup of tea, I want to say thank you. You're part of a growing family of wise, experienced souls who believe that age is not a weakness, it's a superpower. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because every week here on MrJamAdvice, we talk about powerful truths that help you live stronger, wiser, and calmer after 55. All right, my friend, now let's begin. Here are the 9 things you should never share with anyone, even if they seem close, even if they ask with love, even if they say, "I'll never tell anyone." Because once these 9 things are out, you can't take them back. Let's start with the first one, and trust me, it's something most people reveal without realizing how dangerous it is. Thing number 1, never share your financial details or plans. Let's start with the first and perhaps most important thing you should never share with anyone after 55, your financial details. And by that, I don't just mean your income, savings, or pension. I'm talking about everything related to your money, how much you have, where you keep it, what you plan to do with it, or who will inherit it. You see, my friends, money has a strange way of changing people, even the ones closest to us. Sometimes the moment others find out what you have, they start to see you differently. They may become extra kind, overly helpful, or sadly, quietly jealous. And when jealousy mixes with money, relationships can turn cold faster than winter wind. I've seen many elders make this mistake. They share details about their bank accounts, property, or retirement funds, thinking, "Oh, it's just my children. They should know everything." But then suddenly, small disagreements start. People begin expecting financial help, or they start counting your money instead of valuing your love. Money is powerful not because of what it buys, but because of what it reveals in others. And here's the truth. When you're over 55, you must protect your financial peace just like your health. You don't owe anyone an explanation about your income, your investments, or how you spend your pension. If you want to help someone, do it quietly, from your heart. But never ever make your finances public knowledge. Even among family, it's wise to keep only the necessary information available, such as your emergency contacts or essential legal documents, and only to the people you truly trust. The rest, keep it private. Because when people don't know what you have, they can't plan around your pocket, and that privacy brings you a freedom that many underestimate. You'll feel lighter, calmer, and more respected. You'll notice that those who stay in your life do so for you, not for your wallet. So my friend, remember this. Your money is not a topic for conversation. It's your protection, your security, and your independence in old age. Keep it guarded, and never let anyone pressure you into revealing it. Because once your financial secrets are out, You can't pull them back in, and the peace that gets disturbed is often very hard to rebuild. So the next time someone casually asks, "How much is your pension?" or "What did you get from selling that land?" just smile and say, "Oh, enough to keep me happy and peaceful," then gently change the topic. That's how wise people handle it, with grace and quiet confidence. Thing number 2, never share the full story of your past mistakes and regrets. Now, the second thing you should never share with anyone, especially after 55, is the full story of your past mistakes and regrets. My friend, we've all done things in our lives that we're not proud of. Maybe we trusted the wrong people. Maybe we made bad financial decisions, hurt someone unintentionally, or made choices that changed our life forever. But here's the truth most people don't understand. Your past is meant to teach you not to be shared, judged, or used against you. As we grow older, we often feel this urge to open up, to tell our story, to explain our pain, to confess what went wrong. Sometimes it's to clear our heart, sometimes to warn others. But the world today is not always kind. Not everyone will listen to your story with compassion. Some will listen just to gossip or to quietly feel superior. And what was once a private memory of yours becomes a public topic in someone else's conversation. You see, when you share too much about your mistakes, people may start defining you by them. They stop seeing the strong, wise person you've become, and instead, they keep reminding you of who you used to be. And that's not fair, because the person you were at 25 or 40 is not who you are at 65 or 70. You've grown. You've learned. You've survived. There's no need to re-explain your journey to those who never walked in your shoes. This age, you owe no one a confession. You owe yourself peace. If you ever feel the weight of your past pressing on your heart, take it to God in prayer, not to people. God listens without judgment. He heals without spreading stories. And He forgives without bringing it up again. That's the kind of listener you need. Now, this doesn't mean you must close your heart completely. It's okay to share a small lesson from your past if it helps. Guide someone, but never reveal every painful detail. Some memories are meant to stay sacred because they shaped you. They made you wiser, and they're part of your private growth. So when someone says, "Tell me what really happened back then," you can smile and say, "That was another chapter of life, and I'm grateful it taught me what I know today." Then move forward. Because wise people don't live by reopening old wounds. They live by protecting the scars that remind them how far they've come. My friend, your mistakes don't define you. Your recovery does. Your courage does. Your ability to move forward with grace, that's your real story. So protect your past. Don't turn it into gossip material. Keep your lessons and let go of the details. Because at this age, your peace is far more valuable than people's curiosity. Thing number 3, never share your family's private problems. Now, the third thing you should never share with anyone is your family's private problems. You see, my friend, family is a sacred circle. Every family has its disagreements, misunderstandings, and struggles, but what happens inside that circle should stay inside that circle. Once you start sharing your children's mistakes, your spouse's faults, or your relatives' behavior with outsiders, you lose something very precious: the dignity of your home. Many older people, especially those living alone or feeling lonely, fall into this trap. They start opening up to neighbors, relatives, or even friends about what's happening in their family, thinking, "Oh, they care about me, they'll understand." But sadly, the more you share, the more room you give others to judge and talk about your loved ones. And the truth is, outsiders may pretend to listen, but few will keep your family matters private. Before long, those same stories travel from one mouth to another, twisted, exaggerated, and completely misunderstood. Suddenly, people start forming opinions about your son, your daughter-in-law, or your grandchildren, and all of it based on your moment of vulnerability. It's a painful reality, but once a family issue becomes public gossip, it's almost impossible to erase. And instead of finding peace, you end up feeling embarrassed or even guilty for having shared it. Remember this: silence protects relationships. If your family is facing challenges, try to deal with them quietly through patience, understanding, and prayer. And if you truly need to talk to someone neutral, a counselor, a spiritual guide, or even God Himself. Because the more people you involve, the more complicated things become. It's also important to understand that no family is perfect. Every household has its problems. Only the wise ones keep theirs private. The noisy ones talk too much, and in the end, they lose both their peace and their respect. My friend, your family's reputation is also your reflection. If you talk badly about them, the world won't just judge them, they'll judge you too. So when you feel frustrated or disappointed, take a breath and remind yourself, this is my family. I will protect their dignity, even when I'm hurt. Because that's what strong, mature people do. They protect their loved ones even during difficult times. You don't have to share every disagreement, every harsh word, or every fight. Keep your home matters private. The world doesn't need to know your family's story, only God does. And when you stay silent, people will admire your peace. They'll say that person has class, dignity, and wisdom. And that's the reputation you deserve. Thing number 4, never share your future plans and personal goals. Now, the fourth thing you should never share with anyone after 55 is your future plans and personal goals. At this stage of life, you've likely achieved much, raised families, built careers, overcome countless challenges, but even now you might still have dreams. Maybe you're planning to move somewhere peaceful, start a small business, give to charity, or spend more time traveling or gardening. Whatever your plans are, remember this truth. Silence is power. When you speak too early about what you're planning to do, you open the door to unnecessary opinions, doubts, and sometimes even hidden envy. And believe me, nothing slows down a dream faster than other people's opinions. Maybe you've noticed this: you share a plan with someone and suddenly they start saying things like, "Are you sure you can still do that at your age?" Or, "That sounds risky. You should just stay home and relax." And little by little, their words start to plant doubt in your heart. Before you know it, your motivation fades and your excitement disappears. Not because you weren't capable, but because you let someone's negative energy drain your confidence. My friend, at this age, you don't need validation or approval. You've lived enough life to know what's good for you. If something brings you peace, joy, and purpose, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Just move in silence, quietly, step by step. Let your actions speak. And when people finally notice your success, simply smile and say, "Yes, I've been working on it for a while." There's a special kind of satisfaction in that, in doing things quietly, for yourself, without the noise of outside opinions. That's what wise people do. Even the happiest and most successful elders I've met share this habit. They don't talk too much about their next move. They let the results do the talking. So whether you're planning to change where you live, start a small side business, write a book, or even make a big family decision, keep it between you and God until it's done. Because once it's out there, it's open to judgment, interference, and sometimes even sabotage, often unintentionally, by people who think they're just giving advice. Protect your dreams. They're like seeds; they need time to grow underground before they're ready to bloom. If you expose them too early, they may never take root. And don't forget, your future doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. You've earned the right to do what brings you happiness. So guard your plans, nurture them in silence, and surprise the world with the results later. Thing number 5, never share too much about your health problems. Now, the fifth thing you should never share with anyone, not even with your closest friends, is too much detail about your health problems. My friend, at this stage in life, it's natural to have health issues. Our bodies change, our energy levels shift, and some days are tougher than others. There's no shame in that. It's part of being human, part of growing older gracefully. But here's what you must understand. Not everyone who asks about your health really cares. Some ask out of habit, some ask out of curiosity, and a few sadly just want something to talk about later. When you constantly talk about your aches, pains, medicines, or doctor visits, it can change how people see you. They stop seeing your wisdom, your strength, and your experience and start seeing you only as a patient. They begin to treat you with pity instead of respect. And you don't need pity. You need peace, positivity, and strength. Sharing your health struggles too openly can also invite unnecessary advice. Everyone will start telling you what to eat, what not to eat, which pills to take, which home remedy to try. And soon you'll feel overwhelmed by opinions instead of focused on your healing. Of course, you should talk to your doctor or a trusted loved one who genuinely supports your health journey. But you don't need to tell the world every time your back hurts or your sugar level rises. Sometimes silence protects your confidence, because when you speak less about your illnesses, Your mind starts focusing more on your well-being than your problems. Your body listens to your thoughts and your energy follows your words. So instead of saying, "I'm always tired," try saying, "I'm doing my best to feel better." Instead of saying, "I have so many problems," say, "I'm healing one day at a time." That small change in language can make a big difference. And another important thing, when you talk too much about your health, you may also attract unnecessary worry from others. They might mean well, but their constant concern can make you feel weaker than you actually are. So protect your spirit. Keep your medical matters private. Discuss them only with the right people, your doctor, your caregiver, or your family if needed, and keep the rest to yourself and God, because true strength doesn't come from appearing strong. It comes from quietly managing your challenges with dignity and faith. Remember this, your health condition is not your identity. It's just a part of your life, not your whole story. You're much more than your blood pressure or your knee pain. You are a living library of experience, love, and wisdom. So from today, speak less about your illness and more about your gratitude, your joy, your peace. That's what keeps your spirit alive and your energy youthful. Thing number 6, never share your deep emotions or inner struggles with everyone. Now, the 6th thing you should never share with anyone after 55 is your deep emotions and inner struggles. My friend, as we grow older, life slows down, and sometimes that silence makes us reflect more deeply. We think about what we've lost, the people who've left, the dreams that never happened, and the moments that can't come back. Those thoughts can make our heart heavy, and often we feel the urge to talk to release that emotional weight by sharing it with someone. But here's the truth. Not everyone can handle the depth of your feelings. Some people will listen just to reply. Some will pretend to understand, but they'll quietly judge. And a few, sadly, will use your vulnerability against you when the time comes. That's why it's so important to be careful with whom you open your heart to. Your emotions, your sadness, loneliness, or fears are sacred. They don't deserve to be thrown into careless conversations. Not everyone needs to know when you're feeling low, or when you cry at night, or when you're afraid of being forgotten. Those moments belong to you, and to the one who truly understands you, God. It's okay to talk to a trusted friend or counselor, someone who has proven they respect your privacy. But pouring your heart out to everyone you meet can make you feel worse, not better. Because the more you explain your pain, the more others might misunderstand it. Here's something wise people learn with age. Peace doesn't come from being heard, it comes from being understood, even if only by yourself. When you learn to comfort yourself, to sit with your emotions quietly and process them, you become emotionally strong. That's real maturity, knowing how to carry your pain without broadcasting it. If you're going through something, talk to God. Write it in a journal, pray, or take a peaceful walk. Let nature, music, and silence heal what people cannot. Because when you constantly seek comfort from others, you may end up disappointed. But when you seek comfort from within, you'll always find peace. Also remember, emotions are like waves. They rise, they fall, but they always pass. You don't have to explain every feeling to be understood. Sometimes your silence says everything. So from today, protect your emotional world. Don't share every detail of your sadness or your fears. Keep your peace private, your heart guarded, and your strength quiet. Because your emotions are not for everyone's ears, they are for your healing, not for their gossip. Thing number 7, never share old family conflicts or grudges. Now, the 7th thing you should never share with anyone after 55 is your old family conflicts or grudges. My friend, at this stage of life, peace is more valuable than pride. But many older people carry years, even decades, of family tension inside their hearts. Maybe a sibling said something hurtful long ago, or a relative betrayed your trust, or someone in the family never showed you the love you deserved. And sometimes, in moments of reflection or loneliness, we bring up those old wounds again, telling stories of what happened years ago, who was wrong, and how unfair it all felt. We share it with friends, neighbors, or even younger family members, hoping for comfort or understanding. But the truth is, the past cannot be repaired through repetition. Every time you retell those painful stories, you keep the bitterness alive inside you. You reopen wounds that were trying so hard to heal. And worse, when outsiders hear those old conflicts, they often add fuel instead of peace. They say things like, "Oh, I can't believe your brother did that," or "You were right to stay angry." And suddenly, Your heart starts burning again with emotions you thought you'd already let go of. But here's something wise to remember. You can't move forward while still carrying yesterday's arguments. Forgiveness isn't about who was right. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of anger. When you're 55, 65, or 75, you deserve calm mornings, peaceful evenings, and quiet joy, not conversations filled with old pain. So don't keep reopening those stories. Don't let the past steal today's peace. If someone wronged you, let God handle that justice. If you wronged someone, forgive yourself and move on. And when someone tries to bring up those old conflicts, simply smile and say, "That's all in the past. I'm at peace now." Those words are powerful. They stop negativity in its tracks and remind everyone that you've chosen peace over pride. Also, when you keep your family's old arguments private, you protect the next generation from inheriting that bitterness. You give your children and grandchildren the freedom to love each other without old stories dividing them. That's one of the greatest gifts you can leave behind, a family free from old grudges. So, from today, make a quiet promise to yourself. No more talking about old fights. No more replaying old pain. No more digging up old memories that bring tears instead of lessons. Because forgiveness is not weakness, it's wisdom. And it's the sign of someone who values peace more than being right. Thing number 8, never share the private details of your personal life or boundaries. Now, the 8th thing you should never share with anyone after 55 is the private details of your personal life and boundaries. My friend, this one is often ignored, yet it's one of the most important lessons of maturity. You see, as you grow older, you start to value peace, routines, and privacy. You might live alone, or with your spouse, or sometimes with extended family. And naturally, everyone lives differently. But here's the truth: your personal life is not for public discussion. How you live, who visits you, what time you sleep, how you spend your evenings. These are all your choices, and they don't need anyone's approval or commentary. Many older people make the mistake of explaining too much, telling relatives, neighbors, or even friends why they don't attend certain events, why they prefer to be alone, or why they set certain boundaries. They explain themselves again and again just to seem polite or to avoid judgment. But in doing so, they open the door for others to step into their private life. And once people feel entitled to your personal space, they begin to question your every move. They might say, "Why are you always home? Why don't you come to family gatherings? Who was that person visiting you the other day?" It starts small, but soon your peace begins to shrink. At this stage of life, you don't owe anyone explanations about your personal boundaries. You have earned the right to say, "This is how I live, and I'm happy with it." No justification needed. If you want to spend your days quietly reading, walking, or gardening, that's your peace. If you prefer solitude over socializing, that's your comfort. If you choose to cut off certain people or stop attending stressful gatherings, that's your freedom. You've lived long enough to know what drains you and what heals you. And your boundaries are not selfish, they're sacred. But here's the key: the more you explain those boundaries to others, the more they'll try to challenge them. So protect your private life through gentle silence. Don't tell everyone your daily routines, your habits, or your choices. Keep your home life simple, your circle small, and your boundaries firm. And if someone insists on knowing, just smile and say, "Oh, I'm doing what feels right for me these days." That's all. You owe no more explanation than that. Because when you stop over-explaining, you take back your power. You show people that you live on your own terms peacefully and confidently. Remember this: privacy is not isolation. It's a way to protect your energy, your happiness, and your dignity. So from today, stop telling everyone how you live, what you do, and why you do it. Let people wonder. Let them talk. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and only you have to live it. Thing number 9, never share your blessings and good fortune too quickly. Now we've reached the 9th and final thing you should never share with anyone after 55. And this one is very important. It's about your blessings, your good fortune, and the happy things happening in your life. My friend, when something good happens, when you receive a financial blessing, good health news, or even peace after a long struggle, the natural human instinct is to share it. You want to tell your friends, your neighbors, even distant relatives, "Guess what happened? Things are finally going well." But here's the truth that wise elders understand. Not everyone who hears your good news will celebrate it with a clean heart. Some will smile on the outside but quietly envy you on the inside. It's sad but very real. The older you get, the more you realize that people's hearts carry all kinds of emotions, some pure, some not. And sometimes sharing your blessings too quickly invites negative energy, jealousy, and unseen resentment. That's why ancient wisdom from every culture and faith teaches one powerful rule. Keep your blessings quiet until they are strong enough to protect themselves. If something good happens, a new opportunity, an answered prayer, an unexpected gift, thank God first privately. Take a quiet moment of gratitude, whisper your thanks, and let that blessing grow in peace before you talk about it. Because when you protect your joy in silence, it stays pure. But when you broadcast it to the wrong ears, it often gets surrounded by envy or unnecessary attention. Even family members and friends, without meaning harm, can say things that weaken your joy. Oh, you're lucky. I wish that happened to me. Or, let's see how long it lasts. And just like that, the lightness of your blessing starts to fade. So what's the wise way? Celebrate quietly, be grateful silently, and let your happiness be known through your peace, not your words. You don't have to prove that you're doing well. You don't have to announce every good thing that comes your way. Your calm face, your positive energy, and your thankful heart already speak louder than any story ever could. And here's another truth: the more you protect your blessings, the more they grow. Because gratitude is a magnet for more good things, but showing off or oversharing often invites energy that drains instead of multiplies. So from today, my friend, keep your blessings between you and God first. Let people notice your glow without knowing your story. Because not everyone deserves to know what's behind your peace. My friend, if you've watched till this point, that means you truly value peace, wisdom, and self-respect. And I want to tell you something from the heart. You are already ahead of many people your age, because most people never realize that silence is power, and privacy is peace. You see, after 55, life isn't about showing off anymore. It's about protecting what truly matters. Your health, your happiness, your memories, your faith, and your inner calm. These are your treasures. And not everyone deserves access to them. When you were young, you might have felt the need to explain yourself, to defend your choices, to share every detail of your life just to feel accepted. But now you've earned the right to move quietly, to speak less, and to live in peace. Never forget this. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. And privacy is not loneliness, it's protection. In this world full of noise, oversharing, and constant comparison, the most powerful people are those who live quietly, peacefully, and content with what they have. So keep your personal matters private, your struggles sacred, your dreams protected, and your blessings quiet. Let your peace speak for itself. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your calmness, your confidence, and your peace of mind already say everything. And always remember, my friend, at this stage in life, you are not here to please people, you are here to please your soul. The less you share, the freer you become. The quieter you are, the stronger your spirit grows. So take today's message as a gentle reminder. Protect your energy, your stories, your joy, and your wisdom. Because when you keep what's sacred safe, life rewards you with peace that no one can take away. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What lesson today spoke to your heart the most? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one of them myself. And if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who needs this wisdom. And subscribe to my channel, MrJamAdvice, for more honest, heartfelt guidance for people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. Until next time, my friend, stay peaceful, stay wise, and stay true to yourself. Because the quiet ones are often the strongest ones.